Hi, I'm Terry Naturally,
And I'm Dr. Lynn Wagner.
and I have over 50 years of experience and knowledge in health and nutrition.
And I'm a medical doctor with a passion for holistic health. We come together to offer you unique viewpoints and expertise as health advocates around topics that deal with today's health concerns.
And always for your good health. So let's get into today's topic.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Happy holiday.
Happy holiday.
So,
Good to see you again.
good to see you again. It's always a pleasure to have you and
Awesome.
together, and honored to be with you. And I just enjoy our time together.
It's wonderful. It's really nice.
Yeah, I agree.
So I heard we're talking about holidays,
Holidays.
which as a working mom, it is in my mind a lot lately. A lot.
Well, I don't have any kids that I have to take care of. They're all gone.
Right.
So my structured holidays aren't much different because when I visit people, they're all making something for me.
Exactly. But if you're on my end, you're thinking, okay, I have this to host, these gifts to buy. The list just goes on and on. And I think it's important. There's so many different facets of health to think about going into the holiday season that I think is a great thing to talk about. And you can just maybe banter with me and educate in areas that I have questions about too, and educate the audience.
I agree.
So, I think the biggest thing when it comes to the holidays, I think that people think about a lot of is the food.
Oh, of course.
And what they're going to eat.
Oh, of course.
Because, people are really a lot of times wanting to lose weight. They want to eat healthier. But then the holidays come and they're like, oh, I'll just wait until next year.
I'll start in January.
I'll start in January. There's a reason why all the health clubs fill up and all the diet programs fill up in January, right? But I know, from experience, and I know from experience that you can really waltz through the holidays and stay on track, and it makes it so much better.
In time it will, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it doesn't hurt to be a little bit more lenient during the holidays either.
I agree. But I think, that's where people have to realize it doesn't have to be an all or none mentality, It's just realizing that, hey, there's going to be more cookies in the break room. There's going to be more unhealthy meals and things like that. And it's choosing when to maybe abstain from those things and when to say, okay, this is the experience. This is my actual holiday meal. I'm just going to eat all of my traditional, authentic foods and just love them and enjoy them and not feel guilty about it.
Now, there's a very small percentage of people out there, but I think some of those would say, oh my gosh, if I had one little piece of sugar or one little piece of dessert that had a lot of sugar in it, I would be back right where I started. I would be addicted again.
True.
I would never be able to go back again.
Right.
I would be stuck in the rut.
Right. And I think that's more, I see that quite often actually in my practice. People have some pretty significant sugar addictions where if they have any bit at all, it kind of sets them into that cycle. But I think, like you said, for the most part, most of us can enjoy and imbibe every once in a while and it doesn't hurt us.
Yeah, a small spoonful of something or a small dessert. Or
a Halloween candy.
Yeah. No candy corn, no circus peanuts,
Right.
No, absolutely not.
Right. So I think it's important to realize that. But the way I go through the holidays is I try to stay on track for my weekdays, right? So, and that even means that if I go out to, there's a lot of weeknight things that happen during the holidays because a lot of the parties end up happening on the weeknights, Christmas concerts and things like that. But I try to stay really on track during the weekdays. And then I let myself maybe loosen up a little bit on the weekends. But that doesn't mean I'm loosening up all the meals on the weekends because I think people are just so black and white, they're all or nothing. But it means that maybe for dinner, I have something that's not perfect for me. But I still have my healthy breakfast. I still have my healthy lunch. I still go for my run.
Right.
So it's just like maintaining consistent healthy practices. And then when you do the things that are not as healthy, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you.
And also, too, when you do have a Christmas dinner or a Thanksgiving dinner, it's good to start with that dinner to have good protein, like the turkey or whatever you're going to have for protein.
Right.
And have some good fat in that meal.
Right.
And the sugar doesn't have quite the impact then.
100%.
100%. So,
Yep.
Make sure that you get a good quality meal and then have a dessert after.
So it slows down the absorption of the sugar.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Totally. And also, I think one thing people, which I've noticed in people when I'm working with them on their nutrition, is that they'll get so fixated on it that it makes them not enjoy the experience of the meal and the holiday. And I've actually found myself doing this where I'll go to a birthday party or whatever, and in the past this has happened where I was so worried to make sure that I got healthy food, it kind of tainted the experience. And so it's also just about enjoying and relaxing. And, there's traditional foods you eat. There's things you do with your family. There's Christmas cookies and decorating them and putting the glitter on them. And those are really, really important things for reasons outside of food and nutrition. They're important for mental health. They're important for stress reduction, connection with others. And so you can't ignore the importance of those things as well.
Well, it's part of the festivities. It's part of the Christmas holiday or the Thanksgiving holiday.
Right.
And you want to be part of that.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like you want to stay away from everything.
Right.
Because you're so afraid to eat anything.
Exactly. And I think one thing I've really enjoyed since I've gone on my own nutrition escapade over the last 15 years or whatever is learning how to actually cook the authentic meals healthier. So it was taking like a Thanksgiving green bean casserole that had canned cream of whatever soup and butter and maybe some not so healthy things and making a healthier version with olive oil and different flavors and learning to really love it. Or like the sweet potato dish. I used to make canned sweet potatoes with marshmallows and maple syrup across the top. And I learned to make just cut up whole sweet potatoes. There's still a little bit of maple syrup and orange juice in them, so there's some sweetness, but it's not like the really artificial high sugar laden dish. So I've learned to really swap some of the stuff out for some healthier versions.
Right.
And I've really loved it. And I've loved how after we eat those meals, I just feel better too.
Right.
Because there's nothing worse than feeling really, really bloated and kind of nasty.
And
and tired
and people might not know it, but sweet potatoes are not sweet. Not as sweet as white potatoes.
Right.
The starch of the white potato goes directly into sugar.
Right.
It's like eating a candy bar.
It is.
So why don't you just switch?
I don't know if I'd go quite that far.
Oh yeah, it's been proven. There are statistics on it.
With the increase in sugar.
Right. It's almost 100% on the glycemic index.
Right.
Where in a Snicker bars or a candy bar, you have fats and you have peanuts and you have
nuts,
everything that slows down the sugar.
I see what you're
potatoes,
saying.
wow.
Yeah.
So that's why people go to sleep after a meal.
Right. And the other thing too, I think to think about going into the holiday season is, and this is true there's so many different dynamics. So, for a working mom or dad, you start to think about commitments. You've got Christmas concerts and gifts to buy and obligations, and then you're hosting and people are coming from out of town to stay with you or you're going to stay with them. And you really have to take a really hard look, and this is, I think this for sure, with everything in your life and say, what are my priorities and what are my boundaries going to be? Because we can't do it all, right? So you might think your kid needs this perfect Christmas with the perfect gifts and this perfect experience and the cutout cookies and the gingerbread house and whatever. But if at the end of the day, you're a piece of crap because you've tried to overdo it, you're missing the point.
Right.
And there's no joy in that. So I think, and I know you're a spiritual person, and we obviously should consider this during the holidays, like what's the point of these holidays? But like it should be through our whole life as well. Like what's the point of life? And if we're trying too hard and overextending ourselves and not having boundaries, then it's just we're missing the point.
And if you go through a holiday and you blow it,
right?
You eat everything on the table and just you can't stop. That doesn't mean in the end either.
No, not at all.
You say, okay, I blew it. And the next day you go back and eat the way you should eat for a healthy lifestyle.
Right.
You didn't fail.
No.
You had you blew it out. You had a big mistake. But pick yourself up and the next day, hey, I'm back on it. And I'm going to be a healthier person in the future.
Right. I always like to say to people or my patients, if you think you can be perfect, then you shouldn't be on earth because you're a human being and we're imperfect.
We're far from perfect.
We're imperfect people, but by nature, like there's no changing that. And so we should expect to have times that we're not as healthy, or maybe we fail at something that we wanted to try or do better at. And that's just human nature. And it's just how you react to it that really matters.
And number one, enjoy the holidays.
Enjoy the holidays.
There's family around you, don't worry about all the other frivolous things.
For sure.
Enjoy the family, enjoy the grandkids, enjoy the great-grandkids or whatever it might be.
Right.
But it's family.
Right. And I think, health is connecting with others. Health is relationships. Health is reduced stress. Health is eating healthy. Health is getting good sleep. Health is having fun and dancing and laughing and playing music. And it's all part of health. Being spiritual, it's all part of health. And so as you go through the holiday season, if it starts to become a pressure-filled rock on your back feeling, it's time to take a step back and look at things and put it into perspective and say, what am I really trying to do here? And then make some changes and shift things and say no and whatever you need to do.
And we make new changes every day, new choices every day.
Yep.
Everything we do is a choice.
And I think another important thing to talk about over the holidays is loneliness. So, I'm talking as someone who has a vibrant family and lots of stuff going on. But the reality is there's a lot of people who don't have a lot, where they live by themselves, they're not working, their kids are out of state. Maybe they're more introverted, so they don't go out and about a lot. And I think there's some really intense loneliness that can happen as well.
Right.
And I think it's also recognizing that in yourself. And if you see yourself in that position, realizing that you don't always have to be that way. I have my retired folks sign up for classes at the local TC to do. There's retirement classes you can take. You can pick a hobby that you want to learn about and go sign up for a class somewhere. It's getting out in public, going to things like farmers markets. I know it doesn't happen in the winter, but going to the movies by yourself, going out to eat by yourself. There's ways to get out in the community, or even reaching out to loved ones or people and trying to establish new relationships. I think it's really important for people to realize that too, that you don't have to be lonely during the holiday season.
Right.
Because there's the opposite of.
And find somebody who doesn't have as much as you do, and share what you have with them.
Awesome.
Hey, take me out to lunch. Take them out for lunch.
Right.
Take them out. Take them to a movie. Enjoy them and include them. And you might have two lonely people together. All of a sudden, they're not lonely anymore.
Right. Or I think the other thing you're saying with sharing is being tithing and giving.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
And being generous.
Oh, yes.
So I think
Gratitude.
It's just, what can I do for someone else today? And this, but every time you do something like that, it comes back tenfold.
When you make somebody else happy, you make yourself happy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Always.
Yeah.
You can enjoy the holidays tremendously. And yes, it does include eating, and it can be mistakes and blowing away. Hey, we start tomorrow.
Totally fine.
Yep, totally fine. We start tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
So I am excited for this holiday season. No stress, actually.
As always.
Low stress. It's going to be a good one.
Yep. Well, enjoy the holidays.
Thank you. You too.
I wish you all kinds of blessings for these holidays.
You as well. You as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.